Hey guys, sleepy shave today. I'm about to go to bed, so let's get this thing done. Got an Old Faithful Cella, not a super high performer, not quite as good as Sterling or something like that, um, and then definitely not as good as those better than Sterling, but just an Old Faithful. I really enjoy this cute little red tub. It's one of the first tubs that I bought off Amazon before I heard about all the forums or anything like that, all the Reddit or any of those other shaving communities. And so it remains one that I enjoy to this day. I like the scent. And then it performs reasonably well. We've got the Oumo SHD Manchuria knot. And it's been soaking for just a few minutes. So let's get it back in the water to soften up just a bit more. And this is the Rhodium plated replate, and a nice custom job that someone had done before I bought it. And Fat Boy, and this is a 59, I believe. And let's see, yeah. If you look, here's a cute little tip. You see these two little indentations on the side there? That means it's either the later model of the 4 different years of Fat Boys, and this one means that you can extract it with a certain tool instead of having to kind of pop it out for maintenance and things like that. Oh, there goes, you know what that sound is? That is the scoop that I'm going to use, because you just saw my brush, and the bloom on the brush is about as big as this container, if not bigger. And so I thought, you know what, it's just going to drown in here. So I'm going to use that 1/4 teaspoon measure. I'm going to use the Nacet today as well. Get that out of my hand before I drop it. I'm going to use that 1/4 teaspoon measure to scoop out the Cella. And I'll do that now and press it into the bowl. Now Cella can change colors on you. Mine started out a very light, this I bought new. It started out a very light, kind of whitish-ish color. And you can see it's definitely got some changes going on in there. The scent does weaken a bit over time. I've just got too many soaps going on, and so I can't use this as much as I want to. So I pulled out a 1/4 teaspoon of soap, and it's pretty firm. It easily popped right out of the 1/4 teaspoon measure. And so I'll press it in. Just something nice about this little soap. Sterling has almond cream is a scent they've come out with, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was aimed at people who are big fans of Sterling, who might want that traditional almond type scent or marzipan and all that stuff that comes from the Cella type. And there's some other soaps that kind of are in this genre. All right, let's throw in the Nacet here. 351 uses today, and there we go. And today let's back it down to a 3. I used a 4 yesterday, or the last shave, which was yesterday. And let's try it on a 3. See how that works. 24 hours, I think. 24 hours since my last shave. And let me throw some water on my face, and then we'll get going. All right. This brush has had not a long time, maybe 4 minutes of soaking, but that should be enough. I'm going to shake out the water. I do have the big 1 kilogram of Cella, and I think it represents a really good value in shaving soap. I don't know if it is a different formulation than the single tubs. Obviously, you can buy a single tub and then buy that kilogram and then refill your tubs with that kilogram. I do know if you store it improperly, it can go rancid. Some people keep theirs in the fridge. One of the things I was thinking about doing was separating mine out into chunks about as big as this little red tub. I think seven plus is how many refills that will give you if you do the math of using the big kilogram to refill the little Cella tubs. It's been a while since I did that. So it can spoil, so be careful if you want to do that. I just couldn't, I've got tons of soaps, and I still couldn't resist. Last year, I think it was, buying the 1 kilogram when I found a good deal on it. And there's no way I'm ever going to get it used up. And so I better put it in some kind of preservation, something better than just a room temperature. You need to seal it up, I think. And I think some people have reported that there wasn't really a problem as long as they sealed it up really well. But then other people say that they like to put it in, the fridge or something like that. And I don't want it to be wasted. And I believe I've heard people say that the kilogram is a slightly different formulation than the individual tub. And so if you've heard about that, have an opinion on that, let me know. So the brush is moving nicely through this lather. It just has a creamy feel to it already. I really like this little soap so much that if I was stuck in a desert island and this is the only one I had, I'd be fine with it. Sure, I might get a little tired of the monotony, but that's really almost true with about any soap out there. I really do somehow like it. I don't know why it resonates with me. The scent is really nice. It has a lot. I guess it's probably 70% the scent, 20% the cool little red tub, maybe 10% because it's one of the first ones I ever bought. I don't know. I don't think that Cella can be taken quite as far as, some of the other soaps I have. And looks like we've got 3 teaspoons in it so far. Let's just do a finger test and see. That's nice and slick. Why don't we add just a little bit more water to it? Half a teaspoon. And why don't we just go ahead and use that? I've got a good finger contact slickness there. And also let's mix it around just to get a solid mix, because sometimes then it'll firm up a little bit more and you need to add more water. The brush is moving well through it, like I said. It does have a little bit of cushion in terms of resisting pressing and that kind of thing. I think good soaps usually do have a little bit of that going on. Just what a great classic scent. And there we go. Let's just go with it and see what happens. Get my face wet one more time. All right, see how it feels. It's been a while since I used it. Feels nice on the face, and it is kind of getting stronger around the side of the brush if you don't like to have a shirt festooned with blops. Then just break off the side of your brush there into your bowl. And the slight bit of drag I'm feeling is telling me I could add water if I wanted to. It's a big old knot, so there's plenty of room for the water droplets to kind of stay in the brush instead of falling through. And then if you do add water, and then you feel the lather, look at that extra. And if you feel the lather kind of lightening up, your brush moving across your face easier, and it becomes slicker. There's less drag because it's a little bit less pasty, then you know you're on the right track. If you're like me and you just want a really slick wet lather. And I believe I need to go a little bit further. So we've got 4 teaspoons in the lather so far. Just kind of add more drops here. We're also giving the lather plenty of time to work into my skin, protect it with its slippery soapiness. And as you can see, I raked off the side of the brush, and as I've added water, I am picking more from the fringe areas along the side. And so see, we still have more on the side of the brush. So the Cella is a nice economical soap. A quarter teaspoon is obviously way more than I'm going to need for a 3-pass shave or even a 4-pass. So I can make that note. I usually will brush load the Cella. It's been a while since I've scooped it. All right, just kind of spread the layer around. And with so much concentrate developing on my face, I feel really good about shooting another teaspoon into my bowl here. So that, look at all that thickness and kind of working that in. Lots of lather in there. Man, a quarter teaspoon gives you tons of passes here. Look how it moves. That's great. Probably take a little bit more water, but I might just leave it at that. Don't want to thin it down too much. I don't like to take soaps all the way to the wet point where it's about to break, where it's about to just not hold on anymore, not hold together. I like to take it, keep it in the creamy zone, and right before it stops being creamy, that's where I try to stop adding water. All right, so I Tried the Fat Boy the other day and it worked really well, even at a low gap. And I thought, hey. And then I was just reading the YouTube comments and somebody jumped in and said that the Fat Boy was kind of geared back when it was created. Some of the blades that were contemporaries, you know, meant to be used by it, were these much thicker blades than we have now. And they were meant to be honed and resharpened, you know, with, if you were lucky, you had one of those little sharpeners. They were thicker because blades were more expensive back then, and so people didn't want to have disposables. That was too expensive and frivolous, and the manufacturing costs and things like that. So they had thicker blades that you could sharpen yourself. And this was a razor that, I can't remember his name, but he said that this is a razor that was designed to have those, and so and to shave well with them. So that makes sense that as the Nacet, it's still sharp, but it's slowly getting worn as we are, you know, cutting more and more hair with it. And it's having perhaps a blade profile that resembles one of those thicker blades that where the edge is dulling in that way. And so maybe that's why it's doing a great job here. I thought that's a neat point. Nice slick shave there. Good feeling of the lather as I rinsed the remnants off my face. Let's see what it feels like now. Yeah, this is a terrific feeling lather. Brush really helps it to shine. Let's check it out between the fingers now. Yeah, that's just a wonderful creamy feel. I really like that. It may be, maybe it's not as good as sterling depending on your mix, but it's pretty darn close. I really like that. And besides, you know, I kind of think of sterling as maybe a 95 out of 100 soap. It's just terrific. And then those that might be a little bit better, 97 out of 100. And so we're only talking just a few kind of point places here. And so maybe Cella is a 93 out of 100. You're still talking about something so close to 100. Something that's, you know, going to give you great shaves. Nice slickness and protection and comfort. Now this soap does have the almond oils or whatever, you know, oils are used. And I've seen some people have allergies. But not really any more than, you know, some of the other soaps that people tend to, you know, some people have lanolin allergies, and so they have to stay away from, what is it, like Mitchell's wool fat or something like that. Nice and slick, guys. I mean, these new bases are coming out, and that's great, but these are old faithful, tried and true, and some of them are good bases and have been good for a while. Looks like I've been, you know, slashed with, you know, some kind of knife. Man, I've got tons of lather here. That 1/4 teaspoon, boy. I think I've got 6 teaspoons of water in this lather now. I like that. I like that it's concentrated and that you're going to get a lot of passes per, you know, gram of soap or, you know, whatever. Okay, so this is the 3rd pass, and I've still got like 4 passes in the bowl there. Razor moving nicely. I mean, I'm barely any blade feel. We'll see if I get to the end of the shave and maybe the setting of 3 is treating my skin too kindly and not getting close to the root of the stubble, but we'll see. No irritation or weepers or any of that. Nice residual slickness here. So that's after 3 passes. Why don't we just reach in and grab some lather like that. Do another cross grain pass, and then we'll do it again. A little bit of rinsing just to kind of clear things away, and then we'll switch directions and see if we can really get those hairs. Not feeling any tenderness. Oh, so slick. This just wonderful feeling. Forgot it was this good. Really did. Maybe I pushed it too hard with water, and I got past that nice creamy point, you know, but I didn't do that this time. It might be on the dry side of perfect, but it's in that nice little perfect zone where I'm really enjoying this mix. And so yeah, I'm done. Terrific shave. Look at all that lather. Look how elastic it is. And there's still a pass or 2 on the brush here, and 2 passes have just dumped into the bowl. It's crazy. That's terrific. That's great. All right, like I said, it's late, so let's we've got almond going on here. Do we want to do the sharp dressed man for a little bit of a zing? But on the other hand, peach and pineapple of tribute. I don't think that's going to go with almond, but I'll only try it anyway. Maybe it'll overshadow the almond. And nice. And I am really glad he added like the vetiver and the patchouli in here to balance out that sweetness. I think that's a good, really good idea. Man, what a great shave. All right, let's take a look at the closeness. I'm going to pause you. Kind of have a shadow effect. I don't really see too much length on tips, but the 4 setting gave me a better result than the 3. 3 is more comfortable. Barely any tugging on that first pass, really, to be honest with you, which is kind of nuts with the blade being as old as it is right now. So many uses. But now that, hey, we're in the 350s now. Can you believe that? 351. So we are now 15 uses away, technically, I guess 14 now, from a whole year's worth, 365. And then somebody brought up today that I might want to do 366 uses because it's a leap year. That's a good point. Yeah, so the other guy on the wet shaving subreddit, Myrna, and he's got some numbers after that. I looked, and the MI is lowercase and the RNA is uppercase. And so maybe he is a registered nursing assistant. That's a popular RNA abbreviation. MI could be he's from Michigan, trying to keep things kind of anonymous. Maybe those are his initials. Who knows? But when I say Myrna, that's what I'm talking about. And we corresponded today. He congratulated me on 350, and I think he's right at 333 or 334 currently, and so he's doing great. He's stropping his. He is on a Persona blade, so a different brand, and I love it. I love that he's there too, and that he's getting so many good uses, and his comfort probably higher than mine. He's stropping his, and so it's neat to see if his comfort stays higher than mine because of that. And indeed, if that's true, his longevity could go a lot farther than mine since I'm not stropping at all. So that'll be a fun science experiment to see happen. He's going to hit 365 before the end of the year. Looks like about a month after I do, maybe a little bit less. All right, so we got pretty much 5.5, little more than 5.5 teaspoons of water in the quarter teaspoon, probably a little bit more than a quarter teaspoon of soap, and tons of lather left over, so I could definitely reduce that soap. And to my nose, the transition to the pineapple and peach was very nice from the almond, from the cherry and the almond. So very cool. I think it's a nice transition. I did enjoy the Cella aftershave balm a lot. It wasn't the same type of scent as the soap. I had it last year, the year before. I used maybe half of it before it went bad, and that's because I had that balm in too high of a rotation. It doesn't last as long as a sterling balm does. I think maybe it doesn't have as many preservatives or something like that, which is good for people who, don't want those types of chemicals in their products, but it's bad for people with a large rotation. And so yeah, I like the kind of a generic masculine scent. Not generic, but just, one that a lot of people are going to like. General, maybe what I was going for and thought. And I really, really did enjoy it. My wife didn't like it, but I did. And I thought it went well with a lot of different soaps. It went well. But I had to get rid of it because it did go rancid. So if you are interested in the balm, go ahead and get it, but know that you need to use it maybe inside of a year after buying it. And it does have a little bit on the label that tells you probably the 12 months, that little container with a top and it says a 12 on it, that I think is very popular over and maybe even legally required in Europe. So use that up before a year or you might lose it. All right, excellent. My face feels great. My nose feels great. It's enjoying the Tribute right now. It enjoyed the Cella before. The Cella's not a super strong scent, at least this one. It's a few years old now. It's not super strong, but it is there. I'd say maybe it's a 4 out of 10. And it is there. I'm able to enjoy it. Very good. Very good. So the Fat Boy worked well. Might put him on a 4 next time, keep him at a 4 if I keep using him with a Nacet, which I believe I will because I think he's doing just as good or better than the Piccolo SE that I've been using for so long. So terrific. That's been a good experiment there. Excellent. I'm going to put my stuff away now. As I am kind of drying out my razor here, I was thinking how I'm looking forward to getting to sleep. I was reminded basic training in the Air Force was the first time I didn't want to fall asleep quickly because the days were full of activity and work and worrying if you were measuring up. And so when you finally got to rest at the end of the day, you knew you were going to fall asleep quickly, but you didn't want to. I didn't want to. I wanted to just enjoy that rest for a little bit longer before I zonked out and immediately woke up, but fortunately that was just a short period of time, and now we're past it. All right, guys, face continues to feel terrific. I'm not gathering up any kind of built-in irritation. There's no dryness happening. Feels great. Happy with it. All right, 3:51 done, and looking forward to a new week of work. and we'll get on with it. Thanks so much for watching, and I sure hope that this one has got something for you. I know I show a lot of current and new soaps, and new to me especially, but I try to bring ones that people are thinking about buying. I try to bring them to this channel, especially ones that seem like I might like the scent. There are just so many soaps out there, I can't bring them all, obviously. But I also like to step back to classics. You can buy a big old thing of Cella and use it for years. Nothing wrong with that at all. Terrific. All the best to you guys. Stay safe out there. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. You take care.